Hello, friends of the Buffalo Naval Park. It's a really nice, calm day today. And I said, you know what? I can finally film a video that I've been meaning to over the past week and a half or so. It's outside on the 04 level, so the weather hasn't been too conducive to that. But here we are today. And welcome. Shane Stevenson, Director of Museum Collections and Curator at said Buffalo Naval Park. So as mentioned, port side, USS Little Rock. What are we looking at here? We do have Mark 37 for the 5-inch, Mark 34 for the 6-inch. All right, we have, there's our chaff launcher. We've got a really a nice mount and platform for binoculars. We'll have to get a pair of big eyes back. Signal lamp, signal flag. So this is the flag bag. The USS Little Rock Association has really been doing a great job of restoring this, because this is on the tour route. Port side on Little Rock is on the tour route, and so it will give some people, visitors, something really nice to look at. Okay, and then we have this unassuming section right here, this unassuming doorway. All right, this leads up to the SPS 43. Sorry, folks, there's work outside. But even though it's unassuming, we have a photo of RFK on board in October 1961. This is one of those things that I say, oh, you know, I gotta do some research, find out where that photo is taken. Well, you know, our friend Lucas, the archaeologist, emailed me and says, oh, Shane, I found where RFK was. So I'm glad that he was able to take that on. Again, I always kind of say, oh yeah, I'll get to it. And then, you know what? I never got to it. So what Lucas did was he used our virtual tours. Now in 2021, we had virtual tours made of all 3 of our vessels, and they are on our website. So a lot of times when people are doing this sort of work, they want to see what spaces look like, or maybe what they look like in the past. They can go to our virtual tour and then move from those circles to circles and look around. And he did that here and found the space. So I will link the virtual tours in the description below. So what are we looking at here? We have this drain coming from the 05 level. Here it is. All right. There actually seems to be like some sort of a piping system here. I can't really see what it is, but I think here are the brackets for it, and then it's cutting across and down and over and over, because you can see how it cuts across and down over this pipe. So you've got the door, you've got a pyrotechnic ready service locker where you can just see the mounts, the mount welds there, and if you can believe it, we still have ice on board, so somewhere down there. There's a light fixture, which you can see right here, and the ladder, right, peeking out behind the door. Here it is here. And if we were to open the door, right, you've got the condition marker there, Z and Z. So again, this is October 25, 1961. The Attorney General, Kennedy, comes on board with SecDef McNamara and the CNO George W. Anderson. So George Anderson becomes CNO, I believe, in August of 61, so he's relatively fresh, a few months on the job, and they visit on that day. Earlier in the month, the Vice Admiral John McNay Taylor crosses deck from another vessel, and the Little Rock becomes flagship of the Second Fleet. They are out in the Atlantic doing fleet operations, and you get the visitors from the with the CNO, SecDef, and Attorney General. So I can only assume that they met with the Vice Admiral Taylor. In the larger picture, you have April of '61. You have the Bay of Pigs. And then the CIA and military is getting ready to launch Operation Mongoose, right? Which is a disinformation campaign, bringing dissent to Cuba. There are actually plans also to assassinate Fidel Castro in a variety of different ways, poisoning him, just assassination with weapons, even stuff with his cigars and things like that. So what they're doing is they're setting up Operation Mongoose for a year-long campaign of disinformation. I know there's a term that I'm not getting, but stirring up dissent and fomenting dissent throughout Cuba, with then a year later, in '62, the ultimate assassination of Fidel Castro. So that was approved the 30 November by President Kennedy of 1961. So basically a month before, you have those three gentlemen here aboard USS Little Rock. Maybe it's all conjecture, but maybe they were discussing with COM's Second Fleet, the Navy's role over the next year with Operation Mongoose. Don't know. Haven't come across any records that we have on site, but there probably are some in the National Archives. So again, we've got the photo, and the cameraman is, maybe he's COM's Second Fleet staff. He's actually standing around here, taking the photograph. So what was Attorney General Kennedy coming out from? All right, let's take a look. So we have radar spaces, right? Electronic countermeasures space here, right? Electronic warfare. This would be similar to in CIC. We also have a electronic warfare countermeasures space down below. All right, these were part of, well, look at that, the OE, Operation Electronic Warfare. All right, here's Operations Intelligence Division. And here, the SPS-43 radar room, heat exchange room, power supply for the SPS-43 dish, which is just above us, the large air search that was able to get bearing and distance, but not height. So it wasn't a height finder. That was left to the SPS-30 big black dish that's on the back of USS Little Rock. So he may have been also coming from down below on the 03 level, or he could have been checking out these spaces, radar spaces, electronics warfare space. So that makes sense, again, if he wants to see the capability of this vessel as they get ready for the year-long Operation Mongoose campaign. I know you probably all want to see more, but I will come back up here and do another video. Okay. Shed more light on the subject. Okay, so thanks for checking in on this video. It's all conjecture as of right now. 25 October, Kennedy, McNamara, CNO, Anderson come aboard to probably meet with Vice Admiral Taylor, getting ready for Operation Mongoose. That will be, coming in the next month or month and a half. Maybe the Navy's role, maybe nothing, maybe just to visit. As the Little Rock is doing fleet operations as flagship of the Second Fleet. And then we've located the space. So now I've got to get a little sign made, something that's very weather resistant, and show this photo and say, Robert Kennedy was here. Thanks so much, everyone, and I hope you enjoy and have a great day.